Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all. On behalf of KQHDA, I take this opportunity to welcome our next speaker, Dr. Aradhana Chitra, for the third scientific session. Dr. Aradhana Chitra, BHMS, CCAH, PG FHPC Fellowship in Psychology. She has graduated in 1997 from CMP, Homeopathic Medical College, Mumbai. She is the head of the Other Song, Bangalore. She is the university lecturer and mentor for fellowship courses in advanced homeopathy at the Other Song. She is the mentor to doctors at Dr. Batra's clinic, and she has published ebook on autism and has 24 years of clinical experience. She has published several cases in international journals of homeopathy, and she is the guest lecturer at various CMEs across Bangalore. We all look forward for an interesting session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Praveena, for this introduction. And thank you all, the entire KQHDA team, for having me here and hearing me. So I think we're a little running short of time. I'll start with my presentation. So yes, okay. So this is a case. So I'll begin with a case of endometriosis and PCOS. And this was a lady who came to me. She's 29-year-old with endometriosis and PCOS. And there were endometriotic cysts in both the ovaries, diagnosed in Feb 2018. And as you can see, the measurement was like the right cyst was 5 by 4 centimeter and the left 6 by 3, and with raised serum prolactin. You can see the reports here. In April 2018, you can see this the sizes, the 5 and 6 centimeter. So her chief complaint was there was severe abdominal pains which used to last for 3 to 4 hours and would be nearly on a regular basis. And during the pains, she used to have she used to feel very dizzy and couldn't get up from the bed. She had to lie down on the bed. And the pains were so severe that she used to feel as if something stuck in between somewhere inside and it wanted to come out like a stone stuck in the tunnel. And very striking along with these pains were that with the pain, she used to have shivering of her entire body, a lot of perspiration, cold sweat, numbness, not able to move with weakness. Then the other complaints was there were a lot of menstrual irregularities too. So around the cycles would come once in 3 to 4 months with intermittent migraine headaches. And she also spoke about recurrent panic attacks. So I inquired about the panic attacks because I felt I would get her emotional state with that. So I asked her, tell me a few incidences, when do you get these panic attacks? So she narrated few incidences, which would just help us to get her mental makeup. So she said once when she failed in her 12th standard exam and she couldn't get admission to medical college. She wanted to be a doctor and she couldn't get, so she was very shocked with that thought and disappointment and very embarrassed in front of her friends. Then once also happened when she was in an MBA class where teacher asked her and she couldn't answer, and she felt very teacher shouted at her and she felt very insulted and very embarrassed again and hurt. And then she used to have this person, boyfriend, who used to be very abusive, very rude, and very disrespectful behavior. There also she felt very insulted, very humiliated because of his behavior, disrespectful towards her. And then I asked her any other incident, and then again she recollected an incident with her father, where he was shouting at her and abusing her and the family very badly. And there again, similar kind of a feeling of a disrespect, feeling insulted, humiliated, and anger towards them. And then recollection, and once she recollected her one incidence of childhood abuse. So these were kind of few situations where she got this kind of a panic attack. In these situations. And what was again a characteristic with this every panic attack that you would get with this situation, similar kind of this shivering of her entire body, trembling of her limbs, and perspiration, cold, numbness, not able to move, weakness. So what I perceived in her case was that even the endometriotic pains also accompanied by her similar kind of, the tremors and shivering and weakness and dizziness and similar kinds. So I could perceive a similarity in her mental emotional state, the way it was expressed, and as well as her physical pains were also had the similar kind of an expression. And other aspects of her nature was that she was very social, very communicative, and very, very humble to people, generous. She could even speak to a beggar, very sympathetic. And her idol was Mother Teresa, because she wanted to be like her, passion to be like a doctor to heal the sick. So the analysis of my case was that I knew I was treating something, a pathology, endometriotic cyst, but I could clearly see very, very specific sensitivity and her reactivity. She was very, very sensitive to the pains, to anyone, the shocks, the disappointments, in being insulted, people talking her rudely to her, with this disrespect feeling. And it would turn out in form of a reactivity where her entire body would start trembling, with this whole perspiration and numbness and weakness. So that kind of an reactivity I could see in her related to both mind and body. So I saw that mind and body connection, a very strong psychosomatic expression, where her emotional state really triggered her nervous response of her body, where she would start trembling. And so for me, it was very clear that I have to pick up some remedy from the Ranunculaceae family, which belongs to the first subclass of plants, the order Ranunculalis. And just to let you know that the idea of Ranunculalis, as I know, is they are highly sensitive, morbidly sensitive, as if everything is coming in. The shocks, they feel highly insulted, the grief, the vexation, with sharp shooting pains. And there is a psychosomatic expression where there are tremors. If you see here, there are tremors from emotions. So an emotional potent can cause tremors of the entire body. So there was a very strong mind and a body connection, and a lot of emotions conflict with somatization and with the passive reaction of numbness. So on searching which are the remedies on the Ranunculaceae family, I found that it includes aconite, Helleborus, Actia spicata, Ranuncula bulbosus, pulsatilla, staph. I think we all know that how morbid, how sensitive Staph agria is. Cimicifuga, Hydrastis clematis. So I also, what I did is also did a repertorization. And if you could just, just check the rubrics that I have selected. Embarrassment, ailments from, indignation. So she's feel embarrassed, indignation, all the time feeling very insulted by maybe the teacher or the boyfriend, or so that ailments, indignation from, excitement, trembling with, anger, trembling with. Then even her pains, she had shivering with her pains which were very convulsive and spasmodic, very acute pains, and pain cutting in the ovaries, numbness with pain, and perspiration cold from pains. So when I took these rubrics, I found the remedy aconite. And obviously I knew that aconite was a part of Ranunculaceae family, and it is an acute miasm because the abdominal pains were very acute and severe, and obviously panic attacks have an acute presentation. So the remedy prescribed was aconite Nepalis 1M. And I think we all know from Allen's that it has intolerable pains, driving him crazy, with fainting and giddiness with the pains, with nervous excitability. And Boric Materia Medica does write that it has sharp shooting pains in the womb, with the ovaries being congested and painful. And Fataks, obviously the acute violent pain, and mind affected by emotional factors like fright, shock, vexation, neuralgic pains, acute inflammation, and collapse, sudden loss of strength and collapse, faintness and giddiness. So the remedy given was aconite 1M, and we see that. So it started in September 2018, just in 1 month follow-up. I think I'm being a little fast, but I think just to be in time, I'm just being a little fast. Okay, so the follow-up in just 1 month, she said, I can feel the difference. it is doing wonders, as in I didn't get lower abdominal pain, which I used to get on daily basis. No giddiness, chakkar aana. In fact, I feel more energetic throughout the day. Then second month follow-up, that is November 2018, she said, I didn't experience migraine and giddiness lately. So migraine and giddiness also came down. And in August 2019, by the next 8 or 10 months, what I noticed was even her, I had asked her to give me the report of her last 3 month cycles, because they used to be very irregular. So you see this April, May, June, July, all of them coming in line, and every month become regular. And even her in April 2019, the first report was in April 2018, and in April 2019, after our treatment, you can see the measure size is 19 mm, 2 centimeters, and here also is 3 by 2. So they reduced by 2 to 3 centimeters in both the sides, right and left side. But here was the turning point, because after waiting for so long and everything coming in place, the cyst coming down, cycles getting regular, she was trying to conceive, but conception was not happening. And then I thought that let me just, we waited enough, though things are so perfect, everything regular, pain's gone down, why isn't she's not able to conceive? So I just took a retake of her case, and I asked her that what's happening to you now in your current life. So she's saying that I have a lot of mood swings. I feel very, very low. Especially one of the reasons is I want a baby very desperately, because I love kids and I'm not getting. So, and that makes me feel very, very dull, and I'm not able to function properly. I want to do a lot of things I'm not able to do. I am avoiding my friends, my relations, my family who are important for me, but I just don't feel like talking to them. So I said, okay, tell me your feeling in dullness. What do you feel in dullness? She said, I just feel you're just stuck up with the household chores, and I'm not able to do what I really want to do. So she wanted to move ahead in career and focus in her career, but she said, I'm just not able to do. So I asked her, what's the feeling in stuck up? She said, I feel very ulji hui. I want to come out of that. I said, ulji hui means like as if an ant is put in a cotton ball. I said, how would that ant feel in the cotton ball? She said, it would want to come out, but it's stuck. It cannot come out. Then I said, it would feel, she said, it would feel trapped, it would feel stuck, bound, tied. I'm not able to move, not able to breathe, want to just get out. It would just want to get out. And feeling of out would be free, would be like as if you're breathing and air is flowing and nothing is coming in the way. It's a free flow. And she spoke about some dreams where like this was a recurrent dream, and that is why I took it as important, but it seemed a little very out of the place. Like she said, I see 2-3 times she had the same dream. The Ganesh idol is flying, and when it is trying to come down, it is like very, very shaky and stumbling, and she's very, very scared and hope it doesn't fall down and it doesn't stumble and topple over. So she was all the time scared that it should fall down in a very stable way. So that was one dream which came very recurrent, which I couldn't place at that moment initially, and later things became clearer. And then one dream where she saw a swan come onto her lap and she's caressing it like a baby. So what I found in her retake, few important things of her retake was that a feeling of being trapped, stuck, wanting to come out, and that free flow, and wanting to do, not able to do what she really wants to do, not able to connect with friends. And this whole idea of this Ganesh idol being very unstable and need to be landing, and this caressing of the swan as a baby in her dream. With this totality, I will tell you what remedy I gave her and the understanding. So with this totality, what I gave her was the remedy folliculinum 30 BD for 15 days a month. And then so you see in August we started 2019, and in December, in 4-5 months time, you see she has written cyst is healed by your medicine. Cyst is getting healed by your medicines. And then she conceived and she delivered in 2020. I have her audio follow-up also, which I'll make you, which I'll play in some time. But before that, let's understand that what made me think of folliculinum, which is a sarcode, and this patient's the history what she gave me in relation to understanding a sarcode. So firstly, when we say folliculinum is a sarcode, because it is made from estrone, a synthetic form of estrogen, and in PCOS, in polycystic ovary disease, the levels of estrogen gets raised in the body, and because of that, it affects the ability to ovulate. and that leads to infertility. And this remedy, folliculinum, it makes a balance of this estrogen hormone in the body, and that is why it's really good remedy for women who's trying to conceive. So this is about folliculinum, but I also just wanted to highlight some indication of sarcodes in general, not just folliculinum. So basically, sarcodes are taken from a healthy functioning tissues and secretions, as against nosodes, which are taken from the diseased organs, right? So all exocrine, endocrine glands and their secretions fall under sarcodes, the hormones, the enzymes, the neurotransmitters. And so the different sarcodes that we have are these: the adrenaline, the cortisol, the cholesterol, histamine, insulin, folliculinum, and all these, the thyroidinum, testosterone, anterior, posterior pituitary. Now, let me just tell you the role of these sarcodes and what presentation you will see in the cases. So firstly, if we understand this idea of sarcodes, is that obviously each of these gland and enzyme are responsible for our proper functioning of our body, isn't it? They have a specific role to perform, and that needs to be done very perfectly. And for that, these enzymes need to be secreted in a very balanced manner. If they are imbalanced, is what we call hormonal imbalance, and all the other issues of thyroid issues and infertility and menstrual irregularity happen when there is an imbalance, right? So the patients also, in the cases, we will find this aspect coming in, where they say, I'm not feeling, this whole idea of functioning properly, doing things in a very perfect way, plus in a very balanced way. They might talk of something being in a balance. And so balance also means control. So this idea of control will come in, because they want things to be in a very perfect controlled manner, which can seem like carcinosin, which we all know, but carcinosin has to do more with chaos and disorganization, because it's about the cancer cells which are growing very erratically. So they talk more of this chaos and disorganization, but sarcodes have to do more with this balance and imbalance. So somewhere I took her whole, this so many times, her recurrent dream of this idol falling in a very imbalanced manner. So I took it that probably is the whole idea of the imbalance. Plus, these hormones obviously need to be released, right, for its effect to happen in the system. So this idea of release, free flow, and the opposite of being contained, stuck, blocked, trapped, can come up in the cases. So like in our patient, she spoke that this ant is, being stuck and is not able to move out. Plus her pains, she had something like a stone which is stuck and is not able to come out. So this idea of stasis and stagnation versus flow can also be a part of a sarcode theme. And one last theme, which we'll also see, is that these hormones, they link to a receptor to initiate its function, right? They will always link for its function to happen to a receptor. So link and bond also becomes a theme of sarcode, where it could be a bond of an emotion, love between two people, a motherly love, a theme of love, care, nurture, protection, a need to do a lot with others, maternal instincts, attachment with parents and family. And if you know our patient, she had this whole feeling that, she was desperate to have kids. She dreamt of the swan on her lap. She wanted to be a doctor like a Mother Teresa. So just to summarize, so not just folliculinum, I meant most of the cases, if you are going to think of the different sarcodes, you may get these themes of need to function and energy for it, a balance and a control, need to be orderly for things to be done in a very stable and balanced way, this idea of free flow and stuck, and this connection, a strong connection with people, family and friends. So probably these are few things which you could see, and I just wanted to bring that to a highlight, that these are few things we could see in a sarcode. And they might talk of like a flow, river flowing, boundaries, being within the boundaries or overflowing, balance, maintaining, functioning, mothering, caring, protection, compassion for others. So these are the few talks you might see in the case. I have highlighted this part because probably maybe I have done more into psychiatry, so I go more into details of the emotional state. So probably I've just highlighted this aspect of sarcodes here. And just now to talk about folliculinum. Hope I have some time. I'll just take 5 minutes more. So just to highlight about folliculinum, this is not a true sarcode which is taken from a healthy, body secretion of the estrogen hormone, but it is made from this artificial hormone estrone, which is used in the contraceptive pills. So in folliculinum, as our patient, they will use a similar sarcode language, like the need to function, this idea of flow and trap, and the need of control, more balance rather than the chaos of the nosore. So this idea you will get. Plus, one very important aspect, there'll be a very strong theme of nurturing and caring. So much that they lose themselves in a relationship. Very selfless and loss of losing themselves and helping people out of the way, rescuing people, nurturing, all that becomes a very important. As we know, our patient wanted to be a doctor, she wanted to be, ideal was Mother Teresa. As against this, just to tell you that when I've seen the other, I can talk if I have time about testosterone. In testosterone, it is the other. It is more about, it also has this idea of bond and link, but they are more like a protector rather than the whole idea of nurturing or caring. They are more like protectors for the family. Okay, the other themes of folliculinum, apart from the typical sarcode theme, is feeling of being abused emotionally, physically, mentally. And we knew it in the past also. This patient had a history of sexual abuse in her childhood and being abused by her boyfriend. And this whole idea of loss of energy, very exhausted, doormat feeling, being controlled by others, are one of the few themes of folliculinum. And sepia and carcinosin are come very close. Sepia is leprosy miasm, but more emphasis on cycles would be the folliculinum, and carcinosin also has to do with control and chaos, but you won't see this nurturing and rescuing aspect in that. Now, the signs and symptoms, I've taken few inputs from Cassie Everett, where she says that it is indicated for PCOS, infertility, ovulatory pains, drawing, burning, gripping pains, and from ovulation to menses, better after menses. Irregularity in menstrual cycles, either amenorrhea or too prolonged or too short, with heavy bleeding, bright red and dark clots, and dysmenorrhea, mainly centered in the ovaries. So plus PMS symptoms, where you will find migraines and swollen breast, which is worse by touch. And here you will find huge mood swings also before that, and more this VP tendency and panic attacks. Like we know our patient also had a lot of panic attacks. So, but if I compare it to testosterone, they become more aggressive before they are PMS. And then very high or low libido, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Affinity for candida infections, because they have a lot of craving for sugar, wheat, and stomach rumbling, bloating, recurrent cystitis, and panic attacks, and obesity. So panic attacks, again, a part of that, dizziness and fainting, and obesity. They may put on a lot of weight because they have this compulsive feeling of eating before their cycles. And lastly, very important is, it is a wonderful remedy when people have undergone a series of infertility treatments and ovaries have exhausted their energy. This remedy can help restore fertility. It can also help in restarting a menstrual cycle where people have taken for years together the hormones, excess dose pills, hormonal pills, because of this estrogen dominance. And this remedy can really be very, very helpful. There is a follow-up audio, but I'll just skip it, but I'll just tell you about 1 or 2 remedies, just 2 or 3 slides. Is that fine, sir? Just 2 or 3 slides. I can just talk about.
Can you conclude under 2 minutes, madam?
Yes.
Under
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Ah,
So
yeah.
what to tell you about?
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
Srinivas.
Yes, sir.
No, Aradhana, you discuss the case, okay? You have another case with you.
So it will become a little long.
Yeah, no,
I can do
that a case you discuss. This audio, I think, if it is
I'm audio, I'm skipping.
yeah.
So
That case you discuss. No, you take another 10 minutes time. we will give you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we talk about so even testosterone are hormones. So there are few. I'm talking more about the female reproductive hormones now at the moment, Harcodes. So in polycystic ovarian disease also leads to increase of testosterone in women. And it leads to, so similarly, it will cause irregularity in the menstrual cycle and infertility. But what we will see where there is an indication of testosterone hormone is that there'll be signs of virilization. There'll be, because it's a male hormone, so there'll be, development of male physical characteristic, hair on face, neck and chest, deepening of the voice, this muscle bulk. And what we will see in them is to do with masculinity. So in a patient also, it has to do with masculine features, physical characteristic, a very masculine performance. They'll be high achievers, ambitious. And as I told you, there'll be more protectors, testosterone, if we have to give this remedy. So rather than folliculinum, which has been a person to nurture, they'll play a role of protectors and aggression. There's more of aggression in them.